Overwatch is dead. In its place stands Overwatch 2. It's been a rocky launch for the title, exacerbated by a series of DDoS attacks aimed at the game's servers. Fans have been left unable to play for long periods, stuck in queues, left without access to previously unlocked characters and items, or locked out of the game entirely by the requirement to log on using their mobile phones. For the most part now, though, things do seem to be getting to where they should be. While it can still be a little tricky to boot into the game, once you're in, things are now fairly stable, and this should only get better as time goes on.
Overwatch 2 has received a fair amount of criticism for being more of a 2.0 or even 1.5 version of Overwatch than a true sequel, a series of slight adjustments on the game you've been playing for the past 6 years, dressed in fancier graphics and with a few quality of life upgrades. This comparison hasn't been helped by the omission of the biggest departure from Overwatch 1, the PvE mode, which is now not due until 2023.
That doesn't mean that nothing's changed though. This feels like a very different Overwatch to that of only a few days ago, and so, whether you've been playing from launch and are wondering what the heck is going on, or if you're looking to dip your toe in now that things are mostly working as intended, we're here to bring you up to speed with a list of the 7 biggest changes to Overwatch 2 from Overwatch 1.
Perhaps the biggest change of all, and certainly the change you'll notice first, is the number of players now in a match. Rather than 6 players per team in each match, there are now 5, splitting teams into 2 support characters, 2 damage healers, and only 1 tank. Pour one out for all my fellow tank players out there. Yes, gone is the idea of main tank and off tank, so we'll never again have Reinhardt and Zarya working together in perfect harmony. But there's a method to this madness. Older Overwatch metas favoured stacking tanks on top of each other, combining their barrier ability so as to make attacking a choke point feel like trying to kiss somebody through the wall of a bouncy castle. In addition to the reduction in number of tanks, changes to the characters has also resulted in them being less able to fortify, which results in a game that leans a touch more towards feats of ability chaining, dexterity and positioning, with individual players theoretically able to make grander contributions to slightly less populous matches. If you're still wanting a more tank-heavy game, you can always play in open queue, which doesn't restrict you to specific roles, meaning you can have more imbalanced teams. But as Overwatch 1 was built around the 2-2-2 team position, 2 is definitely meant to be played in 1-2-2. That's a lot of number 2s.
The new mode for Overwatch 2 is Push, which functions pretty much like a 2-sided payload match. It's frantic, frequently goes to time, is heavily momentum based, and is a whole lot of fun. To begin, 2 barricades spawn at the centre of the map, 1 for each team. Between the barricades is a robot, TS1, that the teams will fight for control of. Once you have command of him, gained similarly to capturing a checkpoint, i.e. only your team can be stood by them, he will begin pushing your barricade towards the enemy's spawn. The problem with this is that the barricades remain in place even if a different team controls the robot. To win, all you really need to do is to get the robot to push the barricade a little bit further than your opponent did, even though the objective is to bring it all the way into enemy territory. Between both spawns and the centre of the map, there's also a checkpoint which is unlocked once TS1 crosses it, allowing the team with control to spawn closer to them and get to the fight quicker. They can also lose this spawn point if the enemy team takes control of TS1 instead and pushes them past the centre of the map. To make way for the new push mode, Assault has been removed. This was the mode where you had 2 sequential capture points, attackers would need to attack these points, and defenders would need to defend, obviously. Once the match was over, it would rotate with attackers now defending and vice versa, with the team who captured the points the fastest, or got the most capture progress, being the winners. Saying goodbye to Assault also means saying goodbye to the Assault maps Hanamura, Volskaya Industries and Temple of Anubis, for now at least anyway. However, die-hard fans of these maps and the Assault mode will be glad to hear they are still accessible through custom games.
Overwatch 2 has brought with it 6 new maps, 3 of which are built around the new push mode, and 1 for the escort mode, where attackers fight to control and move a payload toward the enemy spawn. The final 2 are the hybrid mode, where you first capture a point and then escort a payload. In typical Overwatch fashion, these maps are set in various locations based on real-world places, albeit reimagined in the lore's alternate history. We have Circuit Royale, the new escort map, which is based on Monaco during F1 season, moving through the city streets with the payload you're pushing being a floating F1-style hovercar. Then there's the 2 hybrid maps. The New York map, Midtown, is full of nods towards the Big Apple, complete with subways, pizza, and the world's tiniest fire truck as a payload. And Paraíso, based on Rio, with a beach, brightly coloured streets and buildings, and taking you all the way to Lucio's club. The 3 push maps are New Queen Street, based on Toronto, with Omnic hockey players, poutine and curling; Colosseo, based on Rome, seeing you push from underneath the Colosseum through to a gallery, past advertisements for Omnic-based gladiatorial fights and chariot races. And Esperança, based on the city of Porto. It leads teams through stone and mosaic streets alongside bright yellow trolleys and traditional fountains. Tall buildings painted in white and blue with traditional architecture surround the paths. All the push maps are symmetrical, with only slight tweaks to the architecture and styling on either side to make them feel more like real places. But on the whole, both sides are the same to ensure that neither team is at an advantage.
Communication has always been a huge part of success in Overwatch, as is with any team shooter, but sometimes screaming "Reaper, Reaper, Reaper" down the mic doesn't quite cut it, which is where the ping system comes in. With the press of a button, you'll activate a contextual ping depending on what you're aiming at within your line of sight. For example, if you're playing Tracer and ping an enemy Reaper, your teammates will hear Tracer call out Reaper's location. Once an enemy hero has been pinged, their location is revealed to your teammates while they remain visible, and will continue to show their last known location when they're out of sight. However, some abilities can cause the ping to fall off, such as Sombra's Translocator and Tracer's Recall. Alerting your teammates to your enemy's locations, or their last known locations, are only a few of the things you're able to convey with the new ping system. Holding down the ping button will open a wheel that allows you to tell your teammates where you're attacking, defending, need help, and more. Your teammates can respond to your ping to let you know if they're with you, or where you can group up with your team's support heroes. In addition to this, there are character-specific pins. For example, Anna can ping an enemy that she slept with her Sleep Dart ultimate, and Mercy can ping a downed teammate to call for cover so she can move in and resurrect them.
Overwatch 2 has completely changed the way that Overwatch's economy works, which is to be expected given that it's now free to play. Standard level ups that unlocked loot boxes with randomised cosmetics are gone. In fact, loot boxes are gone altogether in favour of a seasonal battle pass system. There are 2 tiers to the battle pass, the paid premium tier and the free standard tier. As you level up through the battle pass, you will unlock rewards as you progress along the track, with the premium pass getting you a reward at every level, and the standard only unlocking rewards every so often. If partway through the season you decide to purchase the premium pass, you will immediately be granted all the rewards up to your current level. You can gain XP to level up the battle pass in a few ways: playing games, playing as a less popular role in role queue, and completing daily, weekly and seasonal challenges. Upon completing the battle pass, you unlock a new tier of skin, a mythic. As of the time of writing, there is only one mythic tier skin for Genji. Mythic skins are unique in that they can be customised, allowing for different variations of things such as the skin's colour schemes, cosmetic gear and particle effects. Love the style of the skin but hate its colour? Now you can change it to best suit your style. Each battle pass will only last for a couple of months, after which it's replaced with a new one, rendering all its rewards inaccessible. It remains to be seen whether these will then become purchasable. The Season 1 Premium Battle Pass contains over 60 cosmetics to unlock across 80 levels, including 5 all-new legendary skins, 1 epic skin, and the all-new Cyber Demon Genji Mythic skin. Premium Battle Pass owners are also granted a season-long 20% XP boost, which should mean you'll be rocketing up those levels faster. There are two ways of unlocking new heroes in Overwatch 2 from the Battle Pass, either paying for the premium tier to automatically unlock a new hero, or by reaching a certain level on the free tier. In Season 1, for example, Kiriko is automatically added to your hero roster after purchasing the Premium Battle Pass. To get her without spending money, however, you need to reach level 55 of the free tier. New heroes Sojourn and Junker Queen are part of this automatically unlocked group of heroes, but you only have until the end of Season 1 to log in and claim them if you're a new Overwatch 2 player, or until the end of Season 2 if you're a returning player with access to the Founders Pack. It's worth noting that if you bring across an account from Overwatch 1 to 2, you'll have the full roster of Overwatch 1 characters available to you from the jump, along with the new characters Junker Queen and Sojourn. However, if you launch Overwatch 2 on a new account, you will find the pool of heroes dramatically restricted, starting only with Lucio, Mercy, Moira, Orisa, Pharaoh, Reaper, Reinhardt, Soldier 76, Torbjorn, Tracer, Widowmaker, Winston and Zarya. To unlock the rest of the original heroes, you need to complete a set number of games in any mode, but practice versus AI and custom games. These range from unlocking Genji after one game all the way up to Echo at 150 games. This is going to be more than a little annoying if your favourite hero is deep in the unlocks, but it's made a little better by wins counting as 2 games played. So with a lot of skill and luck, you could have all the characters in 75 games played. These heroes are technically part of the Battle Pass, but as they're rewards for completing games outside of each season, there doesn't seem to be a time limit for how long you have to unlock each of these original characters.
3 new characters launched alongside Overwatch 2, one for each class, with only the support class character, Kiriko, being locked within the Battle Pass. The tank, Junker Queen and General Babe, is the uncontested ruler of the chaotic city of Junkertown. Armed with a shotgun, her Thor-style recallable knife Gracie, and her axe Carnage, she delights in wreaking havoc on the front line of battle and is designed to take part in close combat with enemy heroes. Many of her abilities apply wounds that cause enemies to slowly drain health, while her lifesteal passive, called Adrenaline Rush, adds to her survivability and aggression. Pushing the boundaries of brawling, Junker Queen can be considered a berserker tank, whose survivability is directly connected to how many enemies she's wounding. She can also shout to heal herself and her nearby allies, and her ultimate, Rampage, causes her to charge forward, wounding enemies, dealing damage over time and generally preventing them from being healed. A brilliant tactician and fierce soldier, Vivian Chase, callsign Sojourn, is an indispensable resource on any battlefield. Her cybernetic augmentations and railgun grant her the speed, precision, and firepower to sway the fight in her favour. Sojourn is a damage character and is essentially a more aggressive Soldier 76. Knee sliding through positions, launching herself up onto the high ground with a railgun that can fire rapid projectiles, generating energy for each hit and then releasing this energy with a high impact shot. Her Disruptor Shot launches an energy burst that snares and deals damage to enemies within it, and her ultimate Overclock makes her railgun energy auto-charge, with charged shots piercing enemies. New healer Kiriko is a caretaker of the Kanazaka Shrine and a skilled ninja and healer. After the downfall of the Shimada, she vowed to protect her hometown from the deadly Hashimoto clan. She's basically Dr. Genji, alternating between throwing out slow, powerful Kanaya enemies and homing health talismans at teammates, using teleport to ally and climbing skills to escape flankers or flank them in turn. Her protection Sulu throws a protective charm to make allies briefly invulnerable, and her ultimate, Kitsune Rush, summons a fox spirit that rushes forward, accelerating the movement, attack speed, and cooldowns of allies that follow in its path.
We won't go over every character, discussing the percentage increases and decreases to every single ability. The game is still very much in flux, and there's a good chance that these stats would be outdated before we've even exported. However, there are a few more extreme changes to characters that we will discuss as they dramatically change how the hero plays. Centaur Sentinel? Orisa, for instance, has lost her shielding capabilities and evolved into more of a hunter-killer, trading her deployable barricades for a whacking great javelin. She can twirl it to parry shots, hurl it at slothful snipers, or spin it overhead to suck in foes and blast them away with her ultimate. Doomfist has now become a tank, dramatically increasing his health pool and introducing Power Block as part of his kit, which reduces damage taken from the front and charges his gauntlet, increasing the damage of his next rocket punch and knockback, stunning targets if they hit a wall. Reinhardt's ultra-wide hand shield has lower health, but he can now turn faster during and also cancel his legendary rocket charges, a welcome prospect for any Rain main, i.e. all of them, who has ever missed the other team completely and gone hurtling off map. Zarya's self and projected shields cool down faster, but also share a pool of 2 separately replenishing charges, staggering their activation a little, meaning you'll often have to choose between saving yourself or your teammates. These alterations sit alongside recalibrations for non-tank heroes that shift the emphasis away from turtling. Mei's much-hated Ice Wall is brittler, Bastion can move around in nerfed Gatling form, and Symmetra's notorious beam turrets slow their victims a bit less. Elsewhere, Blizzard has softened or removed stun abilities like Cassidy's Grenade or Bridget's Shield Bash to keep up the pace and neuter cheap-feeling rushdown tactics. In addition to these changes, Overwatch 2 has introduced passive abilities for each role. Damage heroes now gain a 25% movement and reload speed boost on successful eliminations. Support heroes now all heal after not taking damage, making them much more sustainable. And tanks have a 30% knockback resistance and will only generate 50% ultimate charge when damaging them versus other characters, making them harder to push around and farm ultimate from. Also, when swapping between characters, you now retain 30% ultimate charge, allowing for more flexible reactive play rather than holding onto a character for longer than you should just to get their ult off.
So there we have it, 7 of the biggest changes from Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2. Have you been playing Overwatch 2? What hero do you main, or are you fully flex? Let us know in the comments below.
Give this video a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to Eurogamer for almost daily videos about video games, and of course, thank you so much for watching.
Now we're off to queue up and over some watches. I want to get me that Genji Mythic.
Just don't yell at me this time, okay, Zoe?
Don't abandon the payload, and I won't have to.
Oh my god, it's starting already.
Bye!